Welcome, Colorado State basketball fans, to the brand new CTV Sports show, Above the Rim. We are here to bring you a unique way to follow your Colorado State men's and women's basketball squads this season. Not just giving you stats and recaps, but going the whole length of the court, from breakdowns and analysis to visual demonstrations. I'm excited to have Jayson and Jessica here with me today. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thank you, Bryan. So I'm super excited to be one of the basketball reporters this season. I personally have never played basketball for more than a couple weeks in my life, but I've been around it my entire life with family and friends. So overall, super excited.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. Thanks for having us on here. College basketball, that's my stuff, man. The NCAA March Madness tournament, pretty sure that should be a national holiday because I don't do anything anyways.
Gotta agree with you there, man. All
Cancel
the productivity
school.
lost. Yeah, cancel
exactly.
school.
Exactly.
Done with it all, like Christmas.
Yeah.
All the productivity lost anyways. It's not like they're wasting
Exactly.
anything. It's already gone anyways. But it was a big offseason for the men's team with a lot of moves on the roster, and most notably, a new head coach. Niko Medved, a former CSU assistant coach, spent the last 5 years after leaving Colorado State as head coach at Furman for 4 years and last year at Drake. He has now returned to the RAM program to turn things around after the departure of Larry Eustace that at the least was pretty frictional. Medved has a career coaching record of 79 and 87, but it is noteworthy that Medved has improved his team's record in every season he's been a head coach, and that's pretty much what you want to do if you're a head coach of a basketball program.
Yeah, and Niko seems like the kind of guy that he has this open relationship with his players, whereas last year it seemed like some of the players, like if they had off-court problems, they didn't go to Larry and talk. But Niko, at open door, he's there to talk.
Yeah, the first time I met Niko Medved, I just kind of knew. Something inside me told me he's going to be a great match for this team, especially coming off of last season. I feel like he's such a great people person, and then also his coaching skills, the fact that he gets out there with his team, plays with them, it's really cool.
Yeah, I like what you said. The first time you met him, I had the same experience. I said, I don't know what the definition of success is, but whatever it is, this guy, he's going to do it. He just has that mentality about him. It's really cool to see, and really cool to see him interact with his players. He's not the only new face. We've got a couple new freshmen, Adam Thistlewood, the big 6'6" forward, Kendall Moore, Jack Schoman, all pretty big guys to add to the program.
Yeah, Kendall Moore, well, I guess Adam Thistlewood's actually the one that stands out to most people the most. He's a big guy and he shoots really well, but CSU just had kind of a scrimmage with DU the other day, and Kendall Moore was actually the leading scorer. He's a little guy and he moves around really well. He's fast, so I'm really excited to see what all three of these guys have to do. But it's really cool that Adam Thistlewood's from Colorado. He's a Colorado kid, so I like that.
Yeah, Adam Thistlewood, he's going to be a big presence on the outside shooting the ball. Kendall Moore, though, he went head-to-head with Hiron Edwards, and he didn't lose a step. So that's good to see from a true freshman coming in, and it's going to be exciting to watch these three this year.
Definitely. I like what you said about Thistlewood and Colorado. That's a big deal. Niko Medved recruiting the state of Colorado. That was one of the first things he did when he came in. He said, I'm going to go out, I'm going to get Colorado, and people in Colorado notice. It's the first time since Tim Miles that Colorado has been heavily recruited by either CSU or CU. People are excited about it. That's a big step for your program to be able to recruit your state well. Well, Medved is new, and the trio of freshmen are new, but those aren't the only fresh faces in the program. A trio of transfers and a few new assistant coaches will also have their impact on the program. All in all, this RAM roster returns only 7 players who had more than 20 minutes of total game time last season. Now, Juan Savino had like 14 minutes, but he was a walk-on that was just in blowout situations. But 7 players, it's not a lot.
Yeah, and it's going to be different this year. You have 6 guys who haven't even played for CSU. Some guys who've been on the bench due to transfer rules, but you got to have those leadership roles. And that's where Nico Carvaggio, Anthony Bonner, and J.D. Page, they all come in, and they got to be those. They have combined 10 years of playing experience at CSU. So you got to bring that to those younger guys and the transfers and take them under their wing and help them out.
Definitely. Well, those leadership roles are going to be important because it's crowded roster. You've got 4 guys fighting for the 4 spot position, that power forward style position. You got 4 or 5 guys fighting over the guard position. Guard position, Hiron Edwards, Anthony Bonner, Kendall Moore that we talked about, Chris Martin, J.D. Page, all guys who have that roster position. Leadership's going to be important there. J.D. Page, Anthony Bonner, the 2 guys who we expect probably to have the biggest role there. Hiron Edwards, though, I'm also looking forward to dark horse. And Chris Martin, the transfer, I think he's going to be pretty stellar. He was a high scorer at Oral Roberts. But at the big man position, too, we know Nico Carvaggio is going to be present there. Alonzo Tyson, Deion James, Adam Thistlewood could get in as a freshman, Lorenzo Jenkins. All these guys are going to be fighting over realistically just one position, that power forward position. So it's going to be interesting to see how this roster gets broken down, who gets the good minutes. I'm excited about Alonzo Tyson. I'm excited about Chris Martin. But you need a lot more than just those two guys.
Yeah, but that's a really good problem to have, what you're saying there about how these positions are really packed. That's going to motivate the guys to be better and better. They're not safe in their positions. Anthony Bonner's not safe in his guard position. There's younger guys coming up that are going to be pushing them, and I think that's really awesome to have. And it's good to have that depth. If someone's not having a good game, throw someone else in. So I think that's a good problem to have, although there might be some issues with people being a little bit mad about playing time, but, you got to be aggressive and in the game. So.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do to win. So
definitely,
gotta get
there
points.
definitely are going to be some people who miss out on some playing time, but we'll see. Definitely.
Yep.
Well, the Mountain West was just a few years ago a mid-major conference that had weight, NBA prospects, a multitude of NCAA at-large bids, and stellar RPI ranks. But the past few years, not so much. A lot of people are pausing on this season, though. A top 10 caliber Nevada team and a lot of youth in the ranks that have the potential to play some excellent basketball. They've got us all pretty excited about what's going on.
Yeah, and going through the Mountain West, you look at it from top to bottom, they're not a bad conference, especially when you get down to CSU, Wyoming, Utah State. There's questions there, but my pick to be the best is probably New Mexico. They seem like they were good last year. They lost a couple of guys. But they got a transfer in Carlton Bragg, who was a former 5-star recruit going into Kansas. He transferred to Arizona State, and now he's at New Mexico. So it'd be interesting to see what they do.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at Wyoming being at 7 here. Justin James was on the first team Mountain West, the Mountain West first conference team. So he's definitely someone to look out for Wyoming. He was averaging about almost 19 points a game. And he was actually thinking about going into the draft, and he decided to come back and play for Wyoming one more year. So he'll be a senior guard this year. Definitely got to look out for him.
And I look at San Diego State. They got that one first place vote. I think whoever did it is crazy. I would have taken Nevada all the way. They're insanely talented. But head coach Bryan Dutcher comes back for his second season. And in his first season, he knocked off a very good Nevada team that had an NCAA tournament run for the ages in the Mountain West Championship game. So that's big. They only lose 2 players. Now, they're kind of big players, Trey Kell and Malik Pope, but both guys who never really lived up to their full expectation. And he's also going to get 4 new freshmen in, super talented guys, all forwards, 6'6" or bigger. 2 of them are 6'10". That's a lot of size, a lot of experience you're bringing back when you're only losing 2 players. So I think San Diego State, super versatile, but I think what we're all kind of getting at is, Nevada's really good, but there's a lot of other teams that are going to compete and be successful all the way down to even 9. Utah State, CSU, we're not so sure what they're going to be, but they could be really good. And with a conference in perspective, we can take a closer look at what the men's team is trying to accomplish this year. We're all energized by what Nico Medved and what he has and will bring to the Ram program, but what specifically are we looking for?
So specifically for me, I'm looking that this team needs to rise. They have the opportunity to rise, which basically means they need to rise to the occasion. They have the ability to be one of the best teams in the Mountain West. They just got to follow what Nico's plan is, and they got to be there. Shooters got to shoot. That's one big thing. They got to shoot, but they got to take quality shots. If you're out there just throwing up shots like Prentice Nixon was last year, you're not going to be that successful, and you're going to lose a lot of points in transition defense, which with CSU's length, I think they can get back in transition D and push the ball forward a little more.
Yeah, Prentice Nixon, volume shooter last year, really wasn't great for that CSU offense, so being efficient is a big one there.
Yeah, and I really like shooters got to shoot, but for me personally, I think this team has to keep their foot on the pedal for the entire 40 minutes of the game. I think it's going to be a big kind of intensity shift from last season, but I think it's going to be a good one, obviously. They just got to go and they got to finish those games, have it be a different season from last season where they have consistency in their season.
Yeah, you said foot on the pedal for 40 minutes. I looked at Nico Medved's stats as a head coach. According to Ken Pomeroy, in his 5 years as a head coach, out of 352 basketball teams in Division I, he's only ever finished as high as 169 in tempo, barely in the top half. So I think they'll run with more tempo than we're used to seeing, but I'm not sure it's going to be that fast. Regardless of metrics, regardless of stats, though, I think it's excruciatingly important that we don't care about what the record is. It's all about how well this team plays relative to their competition. If they're in games, if they're playing well, if they're playing close, we know that Nico Medved has improved the record of his basketball team every single season he's been a head coach. If he can continue to do that with his program,
It's going to be great.
yeah. If they're 500 this year, they're only going to be better the next few years. You got a Mountain West Conference championship possibly in 3 to 5. I mean, that's what this program needs. Some consistency, some fans to get excited about the program.
They got to get the community. The community is all. It's got to be the community.
Definitely. If you get the fans behind it, it's big time. That's all we have for you guys today. We've been excited to bring this program to you. We'll be back next week. Eddie Hers with the Collegian will join us, and Kyle Witter, our women's basketball reporter, is going to join us to talk about the women's program and his expectations. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next week.